Hello and welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to bamboozle, surprise and tell you something that you didn't know about Manchester United Football Club. So let's just get straight in. Newton Heath origins. Manchester United was originally founded as Newton Heath LYR Football Club in 1878. The club was formed by the carriage and wagon department of a Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway. That's what the LYR stands for. The depot was at Newton Heath. It wasn't until 1902 that the club changed its name to Manchester United. Now, as an added bit of information, there's a street in Manchester which has a plaque on the wall which commemorates where the Newton Heath ground was, and across the road from that now there's like a cycling centre. I saw that on a YouTube video myself. That's an interesting fact. Next, did you know that Manchester United was once saved from bankruptcy? So United faced financial struggles in 1902 and was on the brink of bankruptcy. However, local Manchester businessman John Henry Davies stepped in and invested in the club, saving it from financial ruin. As part of the deal, the club changed its name to Newton Heath, from Newton Heath to Manchester United. But actually, it wasn't quite that simple. John Davies was the lead man in charge of that kind of group of other businessmen that came in when the club was called Newton Heath, where the cycle centre that I mentioned. In Manchester now, the ground was there originally. So he came in with a number of other businessmen. They all invested £2,000, which in 1902 must have been the equivalent of, I don't know, say hundreds of thousands of pounds each in today's money. And they saved the club. And there was a vote, and Manchester United was the chosen name. Other names were Manchester City wasn't Manchester City, but actually there's a connection there, because where the old ground was, if you were to stand at the side of the cycle, the building where what's there now, you can see the Etihad. So Manchester United's original ground was literally a few hundred yards from where the Etihad is now. Next we've got Old Trafford's nickname. So Old Trafford, the home of Manchester United, is fondly referred to as a theatre of dreams. Did you know that United legend Sir Bobby Charlton coined this nickname to emphasise the stadium's special atmosphere and its role in creating unforgettable moments in football history? Well, I know it. I didn't know that until I did some research and found that out. So, how many of you knew that? You let us know in the comments below. So, I mean, for me, I was having a conversation just the other day with my son, and we were talking about if the Glazers or whoever takes over at United buys the club and decides to rebuild the stadium, will it lose that Theatre of Dreams nickname? Can they replicate? And that for me is the important part. If they're going to rebuild, will they be able to replicate that feeling that you get when you're in Old Trafford? I don't see how they can do that. And if they do rebuild the ground, I think they've got to at least try. Let me know what you think in the comments below. On to a bit of sombre history for Manchester United fans. The Munich Air Disaster's youngest survivor. Manchester United's history was marred by the Munich disaster, as we all know, in 1958, when the plane carrying the team, staff and journalists crashed during takeoff, claiming 23 lives. The youngest survivor of the crash was then 20-year-old Kenny Morgans. He was a Welsh winger who played for the club, and Morgans was found unconscious under the plane's wreckage and went on to make a full recovery. So, yeah, the likes of Duncan Edwards and other players were lost during that terrible disaster in 1958. And us United fans, we still commemorate that every year. On to an unusual one, specifically about the mascot. Did you know that the mascot, named the Red Devil, Fred the Red, the club adopted the Red Devil's nickname in the 1960s, inspired by the Salford Rugby League team, which was also known as the Red Devils. The nickname quickly gained popularity, and Fred the Red was introduced as the club's mascot in 1994. Interesting. On to some seriously class managerial achievement. Sir Matt Busby was one of Manchester United's most legendary, or if not the, other than Sir Alex obviously, one of the most legendary managers who ever managed the club. He achieved a unique record during his tenure. He led the team to the first 5 division titles, 2 FA Cups and the European Cup in 1968. Making him the first manager to win all 3 major domestic trophies and a European trophy with an English club. So Manchester United were the first club to win a European trophy. The first English club to win a European trophy. So when you've got Liverpool fans and City fans giving you stick, use this piece of information. United were the first English club to win a European Cup, which is fantastic. In relation to the last fact, United, as you know, were the first English team to win the European Cup. United made history in 1968 by becoming the first English team to win that cup, now known as the UEFA Champions League. They defeated the Portuguese side Benfica 4-1 in extra time with goals from Sir Bobby Charlton, he scored 2, George Best and Brian Kidd. I didn't know that. Brian Kidd, who went on to help Alex Ferguson win the first Premier League title. Do you remember them jumping around on the pitch together when they realised they won it, jumping for joy? Fantastic moment. I'll never forget that. Never. When you think of football and you hear the word the Invincibles, you think of a London club, don't you? Well, did you know that United just missed out on being called that themselves? In the 1998 and 99 season, Manchester United nearly became the Invincibles. In the Premier League, a term used for a team that goes unbeaten throughout an entire league season. United only lost one game that season against Middlesbrough. They went on to win the historic treble, including the Premier League, the FA Cup, and that massive win in the UEFA Champions League against Bayern Munich. Solskjaer scoring an amazing goal. An amazing goal. Oh, and Teddy Sheringham, let's not forget him too. In 2014, Man United signed a record-breaking kit deal with Adidas. It was worth £750 million over 10 years, so £75 million a year. At the time, it was the most lucrative kit deal in football history, and it marked the end of the club's 13-year partnership with Nike. The deal further cemented Manchester United's position as one of the wealthiest and most marketable football clubs in the world. And I think arguably they still are. Hence, obviously, the Glazers could possibly get $6 billion or more for the club. And finally, for this video, did you know United once had a really bizarre goalkeeper crisis? So in a highly unusual event during the 1990-91 season, Man United faced a bizarre goalkeeper crisis in a League Cup match against Oldham Athletic. Did you know Oldham Athletic were one of the founding members of the Premier League in 1992? They were from 1992 they were relegated and spiralled down and never got back up to the Prem. But anyway, back to the fact about United. Due to an injury to their first choice goalkeeper, who was Les Seeley at the time, and a dismissal to their substitute goalkeeper, Neil Whitworth, he was sent off for handling the ball outside the area. United found themselves without a recognised goalkeeper on the field. So with no other goalkeeper and no other options, they returned to remember big tall centre back Gary Pallister. He stepped up in as an emergency goalkeeper for the remaining 11 minutes of that game. Despite conceding a goal, so he's not a goalkeeper, but he conceded a goal. Gary Pallister, so he conceded a goal. Pallister then managed to hold on for a 3-2 win, showcasing that the teams had a fighting spirit and adaptability even in the most unexpected situations. So, backs to the wall at probably the end of that game. I'm sure I watched it. I mean, I don't remember at the moment, but I definitely would have watched it at the time. I've watched every game. I probably even went to that game. Let me know in the comments if you went that game, or if you remember the game, or if any other points in that game you remember. In fact, let me know if you've got any thoughts about this video, the points I've made, if you want to share any other facts, other things you think I should have mentioned. Thanks for watching. Please smash a like on the video. Please subscribe. It helps us reach and grow. Thank you.